Welcome to Living Magically. I'm your host, Michelle Orwick, sometimes known as Magical Michelle, and there is kind of no better week for magic than this week. In fact, it is chock filled with fabulousness. Now, this week starts on the 17th, and it is the week of Midsummer. And at the beginning of the week, here on the 17th, we have the beginning of the planets moving from that Gemini airy energy into Cancer. So Venus and Mercury start moving their way into the Cancer family. And when we start doing things in Cancer, we're feeling that watery sense of home. Cancer rules the moon. Cancer is loving and flowy and family oriented and really more calm and more sedate than the environment around them, which is Gemini. And so as these planets shift, you're coming more into a deepening sense of care. Venus in Cancer is a really happy place. You're going to start feeling more affectionate. You're going to start feeling like you might be a little more emotional in the next weeks coming because and by emotional, I still think what I'm trying to say is in touch with your emotions. You're probably looking for that soul food, soul family, your beloved and your most cherished friends. Not necessarily family as in obligation, but the people you consider nurturing to you. You're going to be looking for harmony. You're going to be looking for this sense of connection. And I love that. I mean, I just absolutely love Venus in Cancer. To me, it's a really, really happy emotion. When you move Mercury into Cancer, we're also talking about the ability to connect with someone on a deeper emotional level. So you might find over the next few weeks that you're connecting and really getting that piece of information that maybe that person's had that information, but they haven't been ready to share it. And you might find that you're willing, not to the whole world, but to those who are really authentic around you, that you're having these deeper, more meaningful conversations. And that also means that you're going inward more a little bit. So again, it's going to be a little bit of a conflict here as we're still in Gemini. So there's going to be this piece this week where you want to go inward and you want to have some quiet time or some one-on-one time or very small group time. But then we're in Gemini. And so with this Sagittarius full moon coming, you might want to be out there and gregarious. So I feel like it's important, because Gemini is all about balance, for you to balance those two energies, the time for connection and the time for introspection. And so as we're becoming more and more self-actualized, we can have it every way we want it, not just the way we want it, but every way we want it. So you can have that inward time and that outward time, but you have to be clear. And this might be going inward and checking today or right now in this hour. Do I need to be inward or do I need to be outward? Because you might have a little bit of there's something out there that I could do, but I would be super happy being with myself. And so you could have the joy of missing out instead of having the fear of missing out in those moments. Allow yourself to have the joy of that's not for me. What I really need is this. And really check in with yourself this week and give yourself exactly what you need and not be tied into obligations that other people might be requiring you to do. So this aspect of being a couple of planets in Cancer and the and some planets still being in Gemini and the sun still being in the Gemini for the first half of the week is absolutely about what is going to bring me inner peace and inner harmony, and how am I going to express that to others. So it's an opportunity to have a better sense of communication and expression. Now it'll start harmonizing a little bit more with the spring solstice on the 20th, because on the 20th we have the sun moving into Cancer. So then you're going to have more planets and the sun starting to be in the same planet of Cancer. So even more love. I love the solstice. It's one of my favorite days of the year because it's love, more love. And you have the sun moving into Cancer, and it's nurturing and it's sensitive and it's joyous. You're going to be able to look at yourself in your highest self. Like really, I feel like I can be and act on my highest self on the summer solstice. It is the longest day of the year, so it's a great day for a party. It happens to fall on a weekend, so you've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday to really capitalize on this joy energy. You know, your home, your family. You can be seen as sensitive, so be careful. Make sure you, because Cancer is so sensitive, make sure you eat and you don't get hangry. Make sure that you pack an extra snack along the way, because you might be doing some things out in the world. Take a few minutes every so often to ground. It's an incredible day for manifesting because it is happening right here with the Sagittarius full moon. I'm sorry, Capricorn full moon. And Capricorn is a very tangible full moon. It is powerful, right? We have the full moon in Capricorn, which is going to hit at its peak on the 21st for some places and the 22nd for others. So it's the equinox, it's the full moon, and it is this power. I mean, really harness the power of the full moon, because when it's combined with the shortest night. So think about this as a day of light. The sun is in its longest, hottest, fullest day of the entire year, and the moon will be lighting up the sky. So it is literally the infusion of light. And I for one will be at the on that day, I will be going to Stonehenge with 8,000 of my closest friends. And that night I will be up on the 21st, I will be up on the Glastonbury tour looking at that full moon. And so this time frame is really good for, obviously, for magic, for self-actualization, for visualing, but it's also visioning. It's also good for you to be in alignment. Am I in alignment? What do I have to change to break the habit, to use Joe Dispenza's words, break the habit of my old self and co-create the version of me that is coming in for this next layer of new earth? What is it that I have to do, become to allow my full self to come to fruition? And I do think that this full day of sun and this full moon following is going to literally shed some light on this and have you feeling illuminated, having you feel inspired and empowered and really out there. But because we're talking Cancer, I want you to stay grounded. I invite you really to spend some time in meditation. Try and, even if you're celebrating with other people, find some time for alone time, because this is where the greatest inner messages come from. Remember, your higher self is going to show you your true heart's desire in this energy. This is really my favorite kind of combination. We haven't seen it in a while, the full moon at the solstice. So when this happens, you're going to have the veil between the worlds very, very thin. The mists of the other world magic, fairies, the other world beings. Who knows? We might even see galactic intervention with the solar flares. Who knows what could happen as this is coming in. I am predicting and expecting big, powerful illumination. And so what do you want to do? This is a perfect time to do candle magic, a perfect week to put out your crystals. I mean, who doesn't want to put their crystals out under the full moon solstice? Be careful not to put colored crystals out under the sun because you don't want them to fade it. So you put it out under the moon for a few hours or overnight, but don't leave it out all day in the sun because the sun could fade them or make strong. But it is an interesting time. Think about maybe putting out water for a 24 or 48 hour period, because when we have this, we're also charging our water. And this would be good for drinking water that you actually would be putting into your body, not just water that you would be using for magic. You could infuse the water with the sun, the moon, and the magic. So a great time to put out, a couple of gallons of water that you would then take in that water into your body and nourish it with the sun and the moon and the balance of this very beautiful spring, spring moving into the fullness of summer solstice. We have the solstice energy, just so powerful. This is Midsummer Night's Dream into the midsummer. So starting really at the 20th at sundown, you can celebrate it even as early as the 19th and all the way until the 22nd. You're going to feel that longest days of the year on the 20th, 21st, 22nd, with that 21st being the actual longest day of the year, and the night of the 20th being the shortest night. And so these two nights, the 20th and the 21st, being really short, but really bright and illuminated by this full moon. And I think it's going to be powerful for you. Remember to stay grounded. Remember to connect the sun's rays through your body, making you the column of light, bringing the earth energy up and gifting it to the sky. That's really the most powerful action I can give you, is to make sure that the sun's rays are coming down through your palms, through the crown, coming through and out your legs and out your tailbone. So 3 entry points: the crown, the hands, bringing the energy down through your body and into the earth, and 3 entry points up, making your tailbone and your spinal column like a tree trunk and grounding into the earth, but also like your legs being extensions of that, and bring that earth energy up through the roots, through your legs, up through your spine, and gifting it to the sky. Then your chakras start merging together in this harmony and balance of this powerful time, and you're feeling the as above, so below. Then you are the within, where that column of light comes together on this brightest days of the year. So if you want to learn more things like that, I am running a fun and wonderful psychic summer school this summer. For those of you who have been doing this a long time, it's back to the basics, reconnecting to your ascended masters and angels and guides and your council of 12 and things of those nature. If you have never done this before, it's still the perfect experience, because we are going to start at the very beginning with how to know the difference between an angel and a guide, and how to work with these different beings. It's 5 weeks, just the month of July, on Tuesday nights. I'd love for you to join us at summer psychic summer school. And in the meantime, have a magical week. There is absolutely no more week. This is literally the peak of magic. So happy summer solstice, full moon in Capricorn, and whatever you do, go make some magic.